Hi, it's Chris from Build Images here. Today I wanted to talk about the difference between a RAW image and a JPEG image. So the RAW image is the full digital file of the photo that you've taken, so it's everything within that image. It has the full range from brightest to darkest and everything in between. It does come out quite flat because it hasn't been developed, so it doesn't have that contrast, it hasn't been compressed. A JPEG, on the other hand, has been compressed, so your camera itself will compress that image. It'll take out or clip the brightest parts and the darkest parts of the image, and it will compress it and saturate the colours to give you what it believes or what it sort of guesses is what you're looking for in the image. So if you think about it from the old film point of view, the RAW is like the digital negative, where the JPEG is the processed film. So if you used to go down to the chemist, you give them the roll of film, that's the RAWs. The chemist would then process those images and give you the snaps, you know, the printed image. So they're essentially what's now the JPEG. So when you shoot in RAW, your camera holds all of that digital information, and so then you need to then process that yourself. So I guess the question is then, if the RAW image has all of the data, why would you shoot in JPEG? And the simple answer to that is convenience. So if you're shooting away holiday snaps and you're wanting to get them out quick and fast, and you don't have the time or indeed the expertise to manipulate and edit those images, then JPEG's fine. I mean, if you're happy to lose the quality, then it's not a big deal. If you're wanting to shoot landscapes, for example, on your holidays, then I would definitely recommend shooting in RAW, because if you want to expand that image, enlarge that image to put a print up on a wall, I would shoot in RAW, because that way you have all that data, and when you blow it up, you're not going to get pixelation, and it's going to look sharp as a bigger image. Smartphones, they shoot with JPEG, which is great, because the phone does all the work for you, and you have the photo straight away. You can share it onto your social media, send it to friends, and all the rest of it. The other thing too is the expertise. If you don't know how to edit RAW images, then they're not really much use to you. So what you need, if you are going to edit RAW images, is the right programs. So they being, the main ones are Lightroom and Photoshop, which most people have heard of. And so that takes a lot of time and experience to get to a level where you're happy to be able to edit those images. And of course it does take time, particularly if you are new to it. With a JPEG image, the brightest and the darkest parts of the image are taken away by the camera when it processes it. Not only that, the white balance is set, so that affects things like skin tone, the colour of the sky, the colour of the surroundings, and the saturation is also affected by that. So if you are wanting to adjust those things, then I would recommend shooting in RAW also. When editing an image, there is two different types of editing. There's destructive and non-destructive. So if you bring a JPEG image into a program to be edited, such as Lightroom, and you edit it, each time you make edits or changes to that image, it's destructive. So it's going to reduce the quality of that image. Whereas a RAW image, if you bring that into a program like Lightroom to edit, it will not affect the quality. It's non-destructive, because what happens is Lightroom will make a reference file for that RAW image. So any changes that you make are on the reference file, you export it out, and it is a copy of that image. So you always have that RAW image or that RAW file on hand, so you're not destructive. It's not being a destructive way of editing. So that's another plus for RAW footage or RAW files. One of the downsides of shooting in RAW is the size of the files. So a RAW file typically for an SLR camera will be somewhere between 20 and 40 megabytes, whereas a JPEG image taken with an SLR is somewhere between 3 to 5 megabytes. So there is a big difference, and so that will obviously affect your storage. So if you don't have a big external storage or external hard drive, then that's another reason to shoot in JPEG. So there is a lot to think about when you are shooting in RAW versus JPEG. There's some of the key things to look out for. Hope that helped. If you have any comments or questions, in regard to that, or any other photography questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.